Hi, welcome to Design It with Tammy Gibbs. I'm Tammy, and today I'm going to be working inside of Artistly 5, but in a different way. So, today I'm not going to be doing a lot as far as prompting and teaching you how to prompt, but I am going to be showing you a few ways that you can prepare for the new version 6. So, if you've never been through one of these version updates, in Artistly, then this is definitely a video you're going to want to watch all the way through. When these developers go from one version to the next, it can include things that can disrupt your workflow. And I want to help you prepare because they've already announced that they will be doing this upgrade, this version update to version 6 from version 5. And they say it's one of the larger updates that they have planned. And it sounds pretty significant. And I have been with Artistly, just so you know a little bit about my future if you haven't been following my videos. I have been with Artistly since the very first day when they launched the very first Artistly version 1. And so I have lived through 5 of these updates, and some of them have not been smooth. And that is just the nature of the beast. Anytime we get improvements, there are going to be things that for the short term may cause us a little bit of stress. And I stressed through at least the first 4. Now, version 4 to version 5 to me was much smoother. And I believe it was probably because prior to that, each version that came out, they basically were replacing the generator or they call it designer. So if you had learned like I do and you had aced that particular generator, then all that work went away and you had to relearn the system all over again. So things and styles that you had built up, your prompts and everything would look different in these new generators. Now, by version 5, and I do hope that they keep this for version 6, they actually went back after request in version 5. There were a lot of people who requested that the style come back from version 4 because that was, kind of the beginning of the turn for Artistly, making it easier for creators to create the images that they wanted to. And they've also added all the AI illustrators, all this other stuff they had they went back and actually added after they launched version 5 the artistic designer, and I use that, a lot in my videos. So they even went back and added that one. They've since added a lot of additional designers inside styles inside the AI Illustrator mode. So they've definitely come a long way in how they treat these updates. And so I do hope in version 6 they will continue with that because I feel like it was very successful and won a lot of new users to the Artistly platform. And so I do hope that that's the way they're going to do this one. However, there are still going to be kinks that will need to be worked out in the early days, unless I'm wrong. Now, I'm doing this video based on my prior experience so that if you're a new Artistly user, you haven't been through any of these updates, or even if you have and you just get frustrated like I do, these are some tips and some things that I would do prior to the update. So I often compare this to road work. No one likes road work, but they like to drive on roads that are good. They don't want to ride on roads that have potholes and, sling rocks up to bust your windshield. They want good roads, but it's a little painful to get from poor roads to really good roads. And that's the way I compare these updates. AI technology is changing every day, and this company has to stay on top of it to maintain market share and grow market share. So that's just business. And all of it, well, not all of us who use Artistly are in business to make money with Artistly, but probably the majority of us are. And so they have to keep up with all these other platforms that are coming out and try to be on the cusp and the cutting edge by bringing new things. They are the only ones still that I know of that have tried to mold in all these other features, like your storybook things and all those things under the same umbrella. I think those are actually very awesome tools to have in the toolbox. Even if you're not doing storybooks now, you may in the future want to do it. You may want to do it for your grandchildren or your children. There may be different applications that you can do within it. All of this that they have added where you can work with older photographs and restore them. All of these are tools that you can use in different aspects of your digital creation business. So, like I said, these are just me sharing things about how I prepare. So, one of the things right away is we don't know exactly when this is going to come out. So, start now. Start doing this now. So, what you're going to want to do is go into your designer, and I know a lot of you have been working because of the fact that the images are not going to be available but a year, and then they're going to take them off the server. You're trying to get that handled. Okay, so you're already trying to move, and you've probably started working through getting your prompts into a keeper. I do sell one of these. I mainly sell it because I had requests for it. It wasn't a product I had planned to put out there, but I made one for myself, and I actually just recently created a second version that actually is designed to accommodate for Artistly, and I even did a video on that. So if you are interested or curious to see how that works and how I work that, I use that. You can watch that video. But anyway, I have something called the Prompt Keeper. And it's very important to not depend on having your images and prompts together inside your personal designs. At some point in time, those images are going to be unavailable, and your prompts are going to go away if you haven't already kept them. And then things happen. Sometimes unexpected things happen anytime that you are on a platform. They can have breakdowns. They can have things where your images and your prompts could disappear. It's not on purpose. It's just the nature of the platforms, the nature of the technologies, and just the internet in general. So it's always better for you as a business person to look after yourself and make sure you have these. So your prompts are like gold. You can take your prompts, you can work with them within different platforms. So those are just like your bread and butter. You need to protect them. So basically, I have a system set up, and I will kind of pop you over and show you. Mine is based inside of Canva. A lot of people use different ways to keep up with them, and I don't really care how you do them as long as you are keeping up with them, because it's just vitally important for you to make sure that you are. Um, I was going to just pop you in and show you. Okay. So this is the Prompt Keeper art organizer that I went back and created just for so you can see it. Now this is not one of my personal ones. This is just sort of a base so you can see what I include in the Artistly version. Now I have another version, but I just with all of this about what we have to do to get ours off the servers and all that kind of stuff, I did go back and redesign to make it a little easier because I wanted to be able to copy and paste this information because it has so much information that's helpful. It has the design ID if you ever, have a problem, when it was created, what folder you have it excuse me, what folder you have it stored in, which designer you actually used to create the image without you having to do a lot of typing. So I just made this extra little box. And inside these boxes, basically, if it's larger, your prompt is larger, I just go in and make it small enough to fit in the box. So, and you can work it around. You can eliminate this, and make it bigger or whatever. So it's just to get you started. So I take and put my prompts, which you don't have to put them for every single image. You only have to put them for when you've changed something in the prompt that you feel like you need to save that particular version of the prompt. But anyway, so that's number one thing that I would be working on if I were you, getting those, as many of those images like that. The second thing I would do is go ahead and download as much of your art as you can. um, that's going to be really important because sometimes things get potentially misplaced. A lot of the times, if that has happened in a version change, they've always been able to bring them back. Sorry, y'all, I'm yawning this morning. Anyway, but rather than take the chance, just go ahead, and if you haven't invested in, your backup drives, your external hard drives that have a lot of space on them to keep up with all this artwork, then you're probably behind the eight ball. You need to really start doing that so that you don't have to worry about your actual on your laptop or whatever your space. I honestly don't know how most people are managing that do a lot of work with their iPads and stuff, unless they're just using their online storage, which I also use. But there are a lot of things that I use the backup drives, and I have two right now, so I back do to both of them, or I don't really back up. I kind of just move my folders and then copy those folders over into the two different drives, and that keeps my laptop running optimally because I don't have it as bogged down. And I do not do that as I should, but um I'm working towards that because I have so many images, and I do them so quickly because of, the work I do between getting new products for my stores, my Etsy and Gumroad stores. I'm also doing these videos and creating a lot of images very quickly there as well. So a little different scenario for me. So that's the number two. Download your images. And the better thing to do is go ahead, take a few minutes in the beginning and create a folder system so that you can locate your stuff easily. I show in the video how I go in, and you can, once you go have your folders set up on Artistly, on your once you've moved into your folders on your hard drive, you can go back in, and how you can use a snipping program or something you can do screenshots. I use a snipper that's called, it's with Windows 11, and it just says snipping tool. So I think that's what it's called. Anyway, where I can basically go in, and let me just show you with a folder really quickly. Not that. Let's see. Artistly images. So this is kind of how I would do that. You can actually go in then and snip and create a directory of all your images. So you can actually see what's in each of your folders. I just do new, And then I can just do them like this. And then I can copy it. And then I can actually go back into, um, let's just say I wanted to do it like this. I could go back in and wherever I want to, you can kind of create I just duplicated that to show you how you would do it. So you could basically even take it like this and you want to blow them up and make them big enough so that you could see the images. So you can work with how you do that. You could even break it down like this and make them bigger so that you can see them better. But this is a neat thing to do and keep up with a 3-ring binder, print them out, and then you would name them, of course, according to what folder they're in. And that would give you something that you could sit down while you're watching TV. And if you're working on a project, you could flip through and you'd locate which folder those particular images are without a lot of scrolling. So that's just another little heads up, little tip, little idea for you. Okay, so let's go back into Artistly. Okay, the other things are prepare yourself, because rocky roads are better traveled if you sort of have mapped out where the potential problems may be and learned how to navigate around the bumps. And so that's what this video is for, trying to help you prepare and get your mindset ready. Encourage yourself to look beyond the initial potentials. Now, I'm not saying there's going to be any problems. I'm just saying if you do these things, they're actually going to be good for you anyway. It's good for you to get your prompts done. It's good for you to get your downloads done. All of those things are good regardless. And I feel like a lot of you have already done that, but maybe some more recent things you may need to go in to do. But I know y'all have been working on that to get your images off quickly for the 1 year mark, losing those images. So if you've been working on that, that part will not be near as hard. Getting your prompts, if you're already doing that, won't be that hard. But let's talk about some things that you also need to do. In the coming days between now and when they announce when the actual transition will happen, it will be important for you to go ahead and think ahead what your projects are. If you have a project for someone and you're trying to finish it up, go ahead and do it now. Do not wait until the version 6 comes out and then be caught in a mess. Go ahead and finish up your projects you're currently that are custom projects or whatever. If you have a particular pack you have planned that you want in this particular style, you don't want any hiccups, go and generate those images now and just bulk, create them and already have that out of the way. Also, if you do not want downtime during the area when you're learning and getting used to this, and to give yourself a little bit of room the first few days that Artistly 6 is out to learn it and to learn your way around in it, because I feel like there may be some things that are switched around. I know a lot of people have complained about the platform and the way that the workflow happens, the way things are laid out. So I would not be surprised if they don't move some things around and then we have to reorient ourselves where certain things are located. So prepare for that now. And so make sure you have enough art to work those first few days, without being concerned about so many people, getting on the system, it being maybe slower as they adjust the servers that they have all this on. A lot of things, unfortunately, cannot be done until they go live. So some things can work fine when they're testing them in the background, but there are bound to be things that are unexpected. And that's just part of it. It's not the developer's fault. it's just the nature of things, and we tend to think that because AI is very powerful that it's perfect, and it's not. There's nothing perfect about it. Right now, the things that make AI so good is us and our human elements merging with the AI technology and guiding it. So we can't rely fully on that AI or those or the tech, because the tech is not perfect yet. So we win when we recognize the weaknesses and we pair them with our creativity and our ability to think ahead and prepare. And that's what I want you to do as a creator, is be prepared. And then we can get into when Artistly 6 gets launched, I'm going to be right in there. I'm going to be teaching again. I'm going to be adapting and showing you how to do it as quickly as I possibly can. I do not, even though I, have worked with it this long, I have all these videos. I'm up in, I haven't looked lately. I may be over 100 videos now, but I know I had 90 something. So I have a lot of videos, the majority of them specifically on Artistly, all the way back to the beginning of Artistly. And so the earlier versions. So even with that, I am not on staff with Artistly. They do not pay me other than I make an affiliate commission if you decide to graciously purchase through me. That's the only way that I benefit from Artistly. And if I were not using it as I do not, my things I sell in my stores are all created with Artistly, as far as images go. So right now, and that may change in the future, but right now, that is my sole platform that I use, and I've used from the beginning. I've never used Midjourney. I've never used these others to create art that I sell. I've only used Artistly. So my business is based on it, which is why my videos are not reviews. My videos are not anything like that. I'm not a person that goes out and uses all the generators and then comes back and says this one, that with other. I talk to you, I teach you based on my experience and because I've worked with it and made it work. And that's where my video instructions, tutorials come from. That's why I do them. That's why I have an affiliate link. It's because I believe in the product. I believe you can be very successful and you can save money by not having to pay a monthly fee. So my goal is to share that with as many people as possible before they get to the point, and we're nearing that, I believe, where they will change the model and probably go to monthly, or either their one-time fee will be much more than what it is now. So that's kind of my goal. Because if you get in now, it's like getting in at the ground level. And a lot of the people that are frustrated, and I'm a little bit confused when I read a lot of the things that I read on the Artistly Facebook group, their official one. Because I don't, that's not the way I look at it. I look at it as I paid one amount of money. It's already paid for itself. So my expectations at this point I'm always excited for version changes that keep up, because to me that is delivering on the promises. Yes, they've had to implement some limits. 400 to 500 images a day is still way more than you're going to get anywhere else. And the unlimited means for the rest of, the lifespan of, I guess, as long as that we can keep the company health, or as long as they can keep the company healthy, then it'll be around for us to use. So I look at the unlimited and their ads more like it's unlimited what you can do with it, and not a per day type thing. It's that, the next day you're going to get more ability to do again. So I look at it a little bit differently. I think a lot of people feel like that the wording is not specific enough. I know that in some of the newer products or some other products, like for instance, I think the new Video Express, they've begun to change some of the advertising to reflect that there is a fair use per day. And so I believe that, they're probably in their newer advertisements going to adjust that just because of the confusion. That doesn't bother me. That is still so many images for people to use. And my whole thought process on that, and this is just my opinion, is that I will work around that because I don't have to pay anymore. I'm not paying monthly. They got one amount of money from me and they've already over delivered as far as this product goes. It doesn't always work perfectly, but y'all, I mean, so many different designers. If one thing is not working, move it to somewhere else. Move it within the platform somewhere else and try your prompt there. I mean, it's nothing about this is going to be super easy. Um, People want to think that AI art is as simple as just writing 3 or 4 words in a prompt and having it deliver, the next, you know, masterpiece. And the truth is, this is a tool. And so the better you learn to prompt, the better you're going to create your own art. Now, if you're not concerned with creating your own art, then there are a lot of ways you can get prompts. There really are, besides learning how to use them. You can go to ChatGPT and you can get it to build you a prompt that may or may not work. And you can always start with one of those prompts. But to truly become an AI artist the way I feel like I want to be, truly deliver products to um your buyer base that reflect your human personality, your design capabilities, and go beyond what everybody else is doing, then you learn how to prompt, you learn how to mix things together, and you go at some point beyond taking the easy route. Anybody can do that. They can pop them in there and they can get some decent images. But if you're really wanting to sell and be competitive, then you're going to be looking for those ways to up the game and deliver to the public something that doesn't look like everybody else's. And that's where, my playbooks come in, my tutorials come in, is to show you how to wiggle things around and take those very basic prompts that may deliver really pretty images. But at some point, you need to learn how it works, because at some point, if everybody is doing the same thing, then the art that is available is all going to look the same. And what is going to set you apart in your business to make people want to click your art over some of these other that are more generic? But anyway, I'm off topic just a tiny bit. But anyway, I felt like that needed to be said. Okay, so anyway, back to what you need to do now to prepare for this update. Like I said, build up your bank of images. Go ahead and download them off of the servers, because the server for a moment or two may be unavailable as they're making these transitions. So plan for it. Just as soon as they announce the exact days, and look for this to happen, because sometimes they'll say, okay, we're going to release this in September. But if they run into an issue, doesn't mean that you shouldn't have been prepared, because you should already be prepared for this. Sometimes, with best intentions, they set a goal for September. Let's just say something creeps up in the last days of testing. Rather than go ahead and release it, if they think they can fix it, they may delay. So that also is a possibility. It's nothing to get upset about. if you're already prepared, you will be able to weather that potential problem very easily, and it will not interrupt your workflow. You can be doing all sorts of other things outside of Artistly. If you don't have a way to upscale or remove backgrounds or whatever, then look for some ways temporarily that you can do that outside of Artistly. If you have time, I don't really use the background remover. I've covered why. I feel like there may be an improvement on that in version 6. I know they're working towards improving it and making it better. Right now, it's not quite good enough for what I do and the images I create, but I do use the upscale and the 300 DPI. So, anyway, if you're solely depending on that, then look for ways, that you can handle that, or go ahead when you're downloading your images and create folders that have those upscaled images already and background removed images already in those folders. Just go ahead and do that too. So you have a lot of work between now and then to prepare so that you can benefit without a major interruption in your workflow. And you should be able to work these tasks around your workflow now, and still get some things done now, but also build up a bank of content that you can work with outside of Artistly. And like I said, if you're doing custom things or you're working with a specific design style, and you need to finish up packs or something, go ahead and definitely do those now. Because, like I said, I don't know exactly how they're going to be changing the. I hope they don't change any of them. I like all of the generators that we have, or designers as they call them, and I hope they keep those, and if they have any additions that they'll just add those, but it's not my call, so I don't know. I only know what I have read in the group as far as the changes they say they're making, and so I have no way of knowing specifically to be able to share that with you other than what they've already released. I'm not, like I said, I'm in the beta group, but the beta group quickly became just an Artistly group. And so it's really not, it's just treated different. And they do tend to tell us about little things, but it's pretty much been opened up now and it's for kind of everybody. But anyway, I think that we've covered the majority of the things you need to be doing to get ready for this update, and I hope you'll be joining me back. Be sure and subscribe, like the video, share the video with all your Artistly friends that are already using Artistly. If you are happen to stumble upon and just decided to watch this video but you don't have Artistly, be sure and go back in and start watching some of my version 5 videos. And I promise that as soon as 6 is launched and as soon as I work through the initial figuring it out, I will be back with lots of videos to help you to create more and sell more. Thank you for watching the video, and I want to remind you about the AI Artist Playbooks. They're what I have been using to do this video and do the create the prompts with. And they have tons of different word banks, phrase banks, textures, all the things you need to create your own unique prompts and elevate your prompting and your image creation with AI. You can purchase those on Etsy and on Gumroad. If you are in the EU, you will have to purchase through Gumroad, and I do currently have a discount coupon, and it's Summer 50. And if you're buying through Etsy, the discounted prices will already, if there's a current sale, be applied to, and there'll be a sale price. You don't have to use a code. And as far as the playbooks go, the Junk Journal edition is only available on Gumroad. It's not available on Etsy anymore. And so if you don't have Artistly and you've just been watching the videos and you like what you see, there's no time like the present to jump right in. You'll have a lot of fun with it. There are many, many different creators inside Artistly. My videos sometimes cover one, sometimes they cover multiple designers inside Artistly. But if you're thinking about buying it, I would appreciate it if you'd use my affiliate link. It's located down in the description, and it does not cost you anything more to use it. You can even use the coupon codes that the company releases occasionally floating around out there. I think they do have a 10% or something going right now, but it may be more. I don't know when you're watching this. So check around and see if there's a coupon code you can apply, and you can help me out and save some money too. I have a Facebook group that is free to join, and I also have a weekly newsletter that is also free to get, and it just has lots of ideas on how to create, how to market your products, all those sort of neat digital product creator things. So that information and those links are also in the description. So you're welcome to join those. I even have a VIP program for anybody. Well, not program. It's a group. It's a Facebook group, but it is a VIP. So once you purchase, then you qualify to belong to that group if you'd like to join it. If you have any trouble making those, the link is actually in the playbooks. So for that VIP group, or if for some reason you can't find it, just send me a message or a comment or something, and I will help you find out how to get into that group if you've purchased one of the playbooks. And until next time, happy creating.